What are we reading from the diary?
Yes.
Just this.
Okay, first I want to do a little Bible. Sadhure mana dinanandana aboya charanara vindare.
Sadhure mana srinandanandana abhaya charanara vindare.
Sadhure mana dinanandana abhaya charanara vindare.
Sadhure mana srinandanandana abhaya charanara vindare.
Dulava manava janamasa sange. Dulava manava janamasa sange. Arohe baba sindure. Arohe baba sindure. Ita chapa patavaritana ehina jamini jagire. Ita chapa patavaritana ehina jamini jagire. Yes. Vipale se vino kipar dorachana. Vipale se vino kipar dorachana. Chapala sukalava Dana yogana tuchapali jana ekara. Kamala jala jala divana salamana. 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 Savana kirtana varana vandana arasena dasare. Savana kirtana varana vandana arasena dasare. Savana kirtana varana vandana arasena dasare. Ujjana Saki Jana Tani Vedana. Ujjana Saki Jana Tani Vedana. Ujjana Saki Jana Tani Vedana.
We don't have it. This is not Germany?
Oh my.
German? German?
German.
Eins. O mein lieber Geist, verehre einfach die Lotusfüße des Sohnes von Nanda Maharaj, die einen von jeglicher Furcht zu befreien vermögen. Nun, da du diese so seltene menschliche Lebensform erlangt hast, solltest du den Ozean weltlichen Lebens durch die Gemeinschaft mit heiligen Persönlichkeiten überqueren. Vers 2. Sowohl bei Tag wie auch in der Nacht blieb ich schlaflos und litt unter den Qualen von Hitze und Kälte und Wind und Regen. Für einen Hauch flackerhaften Glücks habe ich sinnlos sündigen und geizigen Menschen gedient. 3. Welche Garantie für wahres Glück liegt in allem Reichtum, in Jugend, in Söhnen und anderen Familienmitgliedern? Das Leben zerrinnt wie ein Wassertropfen auf einem Lotusblatt. Daher solltest du auf der Stelle beginnen, den Lotusfüßen Sri Haris fortwährend zu dienen und sie zu verehren. Vers 4. Es ist der starke Wunsch und die große Sehnsucht Govinda Dasas, sich in den neuen Vorgängen des hingebungsvollen Dienstes zu beschäftigen, über Krishna hören und singen, sich an ihn erinnern, ihm Gebete darbringen, seinen Lotusfüßen dienen, ihm als Diener dienen, ihn verehren, sein Freund werden und schließlich ihm sich selbst vollständig hingeben.
Anyone else we don't know? I mean, any other bunch? We don't sing bhajans in this temple, generally, you know? Just Hare Krishna and then. Okay, Jai Radha Madhava, you know, right? Huh?
Yes.
Jai Radha Madhava, Punjabi Hari.
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 Gopi Jana Vallabha, Girivardhari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Girivardhari.
Gopi Jana Vallabha, Girivardhari.
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Girivardhari.
Yashodanandana, Vrajajana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana, Vrajajana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana, Vrajajana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana, Vrajajana Ranjana.
Gunatira Vanachari.
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Gunatira Vanachari.
Yamunatira Vanachari.
Jaya Radha Madhava, Punjabi Hari.
Jaya Radha Madhava, Punjabi Hari.
Om Jnana Timirandasya Janagana Salakayam Chakshusmritam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manubhisam Sahitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Varikamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatan Saganatan Vitam Sajivam Advaitam Sarvarutam Parishana Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitam Scha Hare Krishna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Krishnavasute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Shri Krishna
Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri
Advaita
Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Rama 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 Hare Hare.
We're reading from the Transcendental Diary, Hari Sari Prabhu. It's taking place in Nellore, Andhra Pradesh. Happily, every letter reported problems. Excuse me, happily, not every letter reported problems. Vishakapi, the president of Washington, D.C., sent a cheerful narrative, along with photos about a new 15-acre property they've purchased. The wealthiest community in America, in the wealthiest city in the county, Potomac, Maryland. It seemed to be Krishna's desire that we have this property, for without his special mercy, we would have never been able to afford it. The total purchase was $657,000, financed $30,000 down, and $30,000 to pay at 9% interest. Payment was the first 10 years with no interest at $3,000 a month. At 10 years, we will owe $297,000. The balance will be financed over 20 years at 9% interest for $2,300 a month. Smiling, Srila Prabhupada raised his eyebrows at the figure mentioned. Such news indicates ISKCON's increasing prosperity and the bestowal of Lord Krishna's special mercy. Vishakapi made two specific requests. We are located only 40 minutes by airplane from New York City, and because this is the capital of America, we pray you will bless this city with your presence. When you will come, we will try to make arrangements for you to meet with the President of America, senators and congressmen and other important people. As you know, we have installed here already 40 Gaur Nitai deities, or 40-inch, I guess, and 25-inch Radha Krishna deities. We have not yet installed Lord Jagannath, Lady Subhadra, and Lord Balaram deities. I am reading in the newspaper that you would be... I read in the newspaper that, you see, I'm from Florida, so I'm not used to the cold. Garlands make me cold. The window open makes me cold. I'm sorry, but that's... If we could install Sita, Ram, Lakshman, and Hanuman deities at the new temple in Bombay, and we are wondering if we could install Sri Ram, Lakshman, and Hanuman in Washington, D.C., the capital of America, since Lord Ramachandra is the perfect king. Transcendental Deity Ki. So now we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1, Text 51. We have it on the board? Taretat Sodasha Kalam Taretat Sodasha Kalam Lingam Shakti Trayam Mahat
Lingam Shakti Trayam Mahat
Lingam Shakti Trayam Mahat
Lingam Shakti Trayam Mahat
Yate Nusham Shvitim Pumsai
Date Nusam Shritam Pumsi
Date Nusam Shvitim Pumsi
Date Nusam Shritam Pumsi
Harsha Shoka Bayatidam
Harsha Shoka Bayatidam
Harsha Shoka Bayatidam
Harsha Shoka Bayatidam
Etat Sodash Kalam
Tatetat Sodashakalam
Ta Etat Sodasha Kalam
Tatetat Sodashakalam
Lingam Shakti Trayam Mahat
Lingam Shakti Trayam Mahat.
Date Nusham Shvitim Pumsi.
Date Nusam Shritim Pumsi.
Harsha Shoka Bhayatidam.
Harsha Shoka Bhayatidam.
Bolo.
Tadetat Sodashakalam. Lingam Shakti Trayam Mahat. Date Nusam Shritim Pumsi. Harsha Shoka Bhayatidam.
Tadetat Shodasakalam.
Tadetat Sodashakalam.
Lingam Shakti Trayam Mahat.
Lingam Shakti Trayam Mahat.
Datenu Shamsritim Pumsi.
Datenu Samshritim Pumsi.
Harsha Shoka Bhayatidam.
Harsha Shoka Bhayatidam.
Tadetat Shodashakalam.
Tadetat Sodashakalam.
Lingam Shakti Trayam Mahat.
Lingam Shakti Trayam Mahat.
Datenu Samshritam Pumsi.
Datenu Samshritim Pumsi.
Harsha Shoka Bhayatitam.
Harsha Shoka Bhayatidam.
Mataji's.
Tadetat Sodashakalam.
Tadetat Sodashakalam.
Lingam Shakti Trayam Mahat.
Lingam Shakti Trayam Mahat.
Datenu Shamsritim Pumsi.
Datenu Samshritim Pumsi.
Harsha Shoka Bhayatidam.
Harsha Shoka Bhayatidam.
Word for word. Tat.
Tat.
We say it in German.
Deshalb.
Etat.
Etat.
Dies.
Sodashakalam.
Sodashakalam.
Aus 16 Teilen bestehen.
Aus 16 Teilen bestehen.
Nämlich den 10 Sinnen, dem Geist und den 5 Sinnesobjekten.
Nämlich den 10
Den
Sinnen,
Sinnen,
dem
dem Geist
Geist
und
und
den
den
5
5
Sinnesobjekten.
Lingam.
Lingam.
Der feinstoffliche Körper.
Der feinstoffliche Körper.
Shakti Trayam.
Shakti Trayam.
Die Wirkung der 3 Erscheinungsweisen der materiellen Natur.
Die Wirkung der drei
Erscheinungsweisen der materiellen Natur.
Mahat.
Mahat.
Unüberwindlich.
unüberwindlich.
Date.
Date.
Gibt.
Gibt.
Anusam Shvitim.
Anusam Shritim.
Beinahe unablässiges Kreisen und Wandern in verschiedenen Arten von Körpern. Beinahe unablässiges Kreisen und Wandern in verschiedenen Arten von Körpern.
Pumsi.
Pumsi.
Dem Lebewesen.
Dem Leben.
Harsha.
Harsha.
Freude.
Freude.
Shoka.
Shoka.
Kummer.
Kummer.
Bhaya.
Bhaya.
Furcht.
Furcht.
Arti.
Arti.
Leid.
Leid.
Dam.
Dam.
Welches gibt.
Welches gibt.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The subtle body is endowed with 16 parts, the 5 knowledge-acquiring senses, the 5 working senses, the 5 objects of sense gratification, and the mind. This subtle body is the effect of the 3 modes of material nature. It is composed of insurmountably strong desires, and therefore it causes the living entity to transmigrate from one body to another in human life, animal life, and life as a demigod. When the living entity gets the body of a demigod, he is certainly very jubilant. When he gets the human body, he is always in lamentation. And when he gets the body of an animal, he is always afraid. In all conditions, however, he is actually miserable. His miserable condition is called samsriti, or transmigration in material life. Oh, we don't have to translate, huh? Or do? We don't usually. That's a long translation. Okay, I could make a comment here. We're going to read Prabhupada's purport, but we see that happiness in the material world is an illusion. Srila Prabhupada said that only two kinds of people are happy in the material world. The fools and the Paramahansas. And there aren't very many Paramahansas in this world. Probably at this point there's none. We had the good fortune to meet one Paramahansa, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. But such pure devotees are very rare in the material world because they don't want to stay here generally. Like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He was certainly a Paramahansa. I once asked Srila Prabhupada to tell me a story about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. Tell me a story about your Guru Maharaj. He said, what is there to say? He is a Vaikuntha man. So that was Bhaktisiddhanta's position. He was a Vaikuntha man. And he came on the request of Bhaktivinoda Thakur from Lord Chaitanya's staff or from the spiritual world, Manjari or like that. And then, as soon as he finished his work, he left and went back because he was only 62 years old. Now I can say, I'm 82, so I know 62 is pretty young. Why? Why he left so soon? Because he created his institution, and he also created Prabhupada, and he knew that. And so, what am I doing here? He didn't want to stay in the material world. He wants to go back to his regular rasa with Krishna in the spiritual world. So generally, we don't find pure devotees in the material world. There's that verses there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. If the wandering in the Brahmanandas, so many different universes, by great good fortune we may meet such a soul, such a pure devotee, Mahabhagavat. Only by great good fortune. So we're all very fortunate. We don't know it, but we're very, very fortunate to have met a person like Srila Prabhupada. And you meet him here in his purpose. You can meet him in his instructions. You can meet him in his followers. And then you can make your life perfect and get out of this material world, which is full of lamentation. The jubilation is there, but then it's finished, and then again lamentation. So the whole thing, there's nothing positive. And it's very, very difficult to get out. The comparison is given of somebody falls in a well that was neglected. There's no more water in the well. So they just left it, and it's in the field, covered with grass. And somebody's walking along out in the field, and boom, he falls down. How's he going to get out? He can call, but nobody will hear him. It's out in the field. So it's something like that. We've come into the material world. We've been here since time immemorial. We can't even trace out how long we've been here. And why are we here? Because of this false ego. It's like we see it sometimes with children. They can be so stubborn, right? That they want this. No, I'm not. And there's no peace unless they get it. So it's something like that. We have this strong mind and senses that are dictating us. No, I'm going to be happy here. But there's no happiness. So we should take the opportunity, the rare, very rare opportunity that we've met a pure devotee, and don't again become fools to think we can be happy in this world. Because that's the illusion. Everybody's thinking. They're going to work and think, oh, when I get paid, then I'm going to be happy. When I get a promotion, I'll be happy. When I get a good wife, I'll be happy. Nobody's happy, but they're thinking I'll be happy. Therefore, the most popular song of the Rolling Stone, what is that? Why is that so popular? Because when people go there, they sing it, they all sing it together, and they think, well, I'm normal. Everybody is miserable, and I'm miserable, so then they feel a little happiness that they're normal. The normal means you can't get any satisfaction. But a devotee can quickly get satisfaction because he knows the secret of putting Krishna in the center instead of trying to keep himself in the center. Otherwise, it's a fact. Everyone loves himself the most in this material world. Everyone, except the Paramahansa. He loves Krishna. It said Raghunath Das loved Krishna 20,000 times more than himself. So we can just imagine how much power there is in that love and how they're able to accomplish so much. Writing books. Prabhupada was doing impossible things. Preaching like he's getting these letters we just read from Harisar. Answering all the letters, taking time to think. And at the same time, every night, writing these purports from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, all the Chaitanya Charitamrita, so many elaborate purports of it. But it was impossible that anybody could do like that. How is it possible? Because Prabhupada was empowered by Krishna. Shaktavesh, we say. He's specially empowered to spread this movement all over the world. And it will continue. Of course, we can mess it up, but I was in a car coming a morning walk with Srila Prabhupada, coming back from the walk was out on the ocean, on the Palisades. So the temple was, 15 minutes by car from the ocean. And Prabhupada would go every morning there. Nice place to walk up on the Palisade. You could see the water. So he was walking there. And when we came back, this time we came back a different way, and the devotees were waiting for us, waiting for Prabhupada. There were 3 sannyasis in the back, Prabhupada was in the front, and the driver. And they didn't see us come, we came from a different direction. So they were all on the street looking in the other way. But Prabhupada was inspired because he saw everybody there, bead bags, the children, dhoti, tila, everything. And Prabhupada felt inspired by it. And suddenly he spoke with full conviction. They cannot check this movement. This movement will go unchecked for the next 10,000 years. So that's the prophecy. For 10,000 years, this Hare Krishna movement is going on. So all we have to do is stay connected, keep chanting Hare Krishna, and we'll get the credit. And the credit will be, we qualify to enter the spiritual world. So please, don't stop chanting Hare Krishna. Purport. The sum and substance of material conditioned life is explained in this verse. The living entity, the 17th element, is struggling alone, life after life. That's a good point, we're alone. We come into the world alone, according to our own karma, our destiny, and we leave alone. Even the spiritual master doesn't go with us as such. We give the example of birds in formation. There's a leader, but the other birds have to fly, have to flap their wings. Otherwise, the lead bird can't, in other words, Prabhupada can't carry us back. We have to qualify ourselves by our own individual desire. We've come to the material world, Isha Dvesha. And by our own individual desire, we can go back to the spiritual world. But we don't desire that. We desire to be a king here. And therefore we make everything complicated. Like Putin. What is his desire? He wants to see Mother Russia renewed in its original form. And what is Trump's desire? He wants to make America great again. And what was Napoleon's? I am France. He wants to, this is going on. Nobody is free from this false ego. And they extend it. Once Napoleon was asked, well, will that be good for France? Napoleon's answer was, I am France. Is that it? Putin's thinking like that too? And so they only make things worse, complicated. Therefore we should take impetus from this and be serious to qualify to go to the spiritual world. This is a common sense thing. Anybody with even just ordinary intelligence should come to this conclusion and take it very seriously. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand this philosophy. Simple philosophy. God is great, we're small. Our constitutional position is to please Him. If He's pleased, we'll be qualified to go back to the spiritual world where we have eternal life full of knowledge and bliss. That's it, sum and substance, 1 sentence, 2 sentences. But why don't people understand it? Because they're attached. They don't want to understand it. They want to enjoy this world, just like a child. He wants a toy, and there won't be any peace until, sometimes I see them in the airport or something, they're so determined. These little children are so determined for their sense gratification. They want what they want when they want it, and that the parents are completely, beholden to them. Very difficult to train up the children. Therefore, we have a debt to the parents. Generally, we say, yeah, the children have a debt. They should touch their feet. Prabhupada is teaching us like that. Okay. There's a funny story like that. Brahmananda and Gargamuni were two brothers, so their parents would come. They both became devotees, and their parents sometimes came. And they were from a wealthy Jewish family. And when they came one time, and Prabhupada asked them, "Can you help us with some donation?" They were wealthy. And his mother said, "What? You already took 2 of our sons, now you want money?" Anyway. Yes, we want, because we want to use it in Krishna's service. We want everything. It all belongs to Krishna. But of course we have to deal in this world, so, because sometimes devotees have that philosophy, well, everything belongs to Krishna. So if we steal something, it's okay because it's really Krishna. And they used to call it midnight Sankirtan. They'd go out and steal things in the neighborhood. And so Prabhupada found out, he was very upset. No, we can't do like that. We have to follow the laws of the land. Otherwise we'll simply be disturbance. We give the example of these suicide bombers. They may be very dedicated, right, to Allah, but they're just to cause disturbance. And ironically, the Quran says suicide is a sin. But what are they doing? Committing suicide. For what? For pleasing Allah or Muhammad? No. They become crazy. Just like these devotees. ISKCON devotees became crazy. Stealing. And one devotee, when he was arrested, but he was caught in the stealing business. And in front of the judge, he said, well, in our society, and he blamed Prabhupada. Yeah. That everything belongs to Krishna, so we're taking it back. Something. So no, we don't disturb. That in the 12th chapter you can read Bhagavad Gita. The devotee is careful not to disturb other living entities. Sometimes we see in the car, we're driving, people are coming in the crosswalk. So we have to be careful not to disturb anyone. This is our philosophy. Then we won't create any karma. We can go back home, back to Godhead. Yeah, where was I here? So now Prabhupada is quoting both sides. This verse 7:14. Who knows it? Daiviye Sagunamayi. So both sides of it. First part of the verse says this material nature is very difficult to overcome. Duratya, very difficult. Prabhupada once said like that. He came from the airport in London, 1969, and we had a welcoming, for him. Came to the temple, and one of the ladies, she very emotionally said, "Srila Prabhupada, you're so wonderful." Her name was Janaki. She was the president's wife. Mukunda was the president. "You're so wonderful, Srila Prabhupada. You want to save the whole world." But Prabhupada he was always thoughtful. He spoke, he said, "Yes, but this is Maya's kingdom. It's not an easy job." We experienced that, right? You preachers going out, you can see it's not an easy job to get people to listen. So that's the reality. We're in an awkward position, but we've come in contact with the solution. But if we don't admit that we're in an awkward position, it'll be difficult for us to take the medicine. It's like if somebody's healthy, you can't induce them to take medicine. So everybody's thinking that they're rightly situated. We have a good position here in the material world. We have a good income. We have friends and family and a good nation, German nation, strong nation. But they think, what do I? No. Unless we admit that we're in an awkward position, it's very difficult to get help. So we have to somehow induce them to understand their actual position is, what does the verse say? Full of what? Lamentation? Full of... The miserable condition is full of misery. What is that? In all conditions, however, he is actually miserable. Miserable because where the soul is eternal, wants to experience joy at every second. And nobody can have that here in the material world. Maybe they're for some flashing moment they may feel like that, but it's illusion. Here today, gone tomorrow. So the force of the material nature is insurmountable. Daivihesu gunamayi, mama maya duratyaya. Duratyaya means very difficult. Material nature harasses the living entity in different bodies. But if the living entity surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that's the second part of the verse, he becomes free from entanglement, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, Mame vaye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. Thus his life becomes successful. So how to surrender? It's not easy, it's true, because our habit is so strong. It's easy, but to apply it is difficult because of our habit. Prabhupada gave the example of the tail of the dog. It's crooked. If you straighten it out, again. Straighten it out, again. But he was talking about us. We can give you the information, but again you go back to your old way of thinking. Again you go back to sense gratification for happiness. That's the general condition. We're looking for happiness, but we're looking on the wrong side. It's like if you're looking for water, the desert is not a good place to look. So material world is not a good place to look for happiness because it's certified, dukkhalayam, Krishna is certified, full of misery and temporary, ashashvata. So we want happiness, that's okay, but we have to look in the right place. And Prabhupada was offering us that very liberally. Like the reporter asked him, are you hippies? Because there was a hippie movement. Prabhupada said, no, we're happies. And he would always encourage us like that. Jai Hare Krishna, be happy. So we can be happy. That's what we want. Everyone wants it. Who doesn't want happiness? Everyone wants happiness. But we have to get it from the right source, which is Krishna. Krishna can give us happiness. And the representative of Krishna, he'll help us find that happiness. He's not the source of the happiness. Krishna is the source. But he knows how to approach the source. Therefore, Prabhupada is always teaching, Sarvadharma Prityaja, surrender to Krishna. Give up material things. Simply get in harmony with the will of the Lord. And that's what Lord Jesus was also preaching. And even Muhammad was telling, submit. Islam means submit. 5 times a day they put their head on the ground. The same principle is there. Get in harmony with the Lord. Of course we see how religion can be perverted very quickly. Even in ISKCON we're telling how they were stealing and thinking that they're doing fine. So we have to be careful not to act whimsically. So we have 3 authorities, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. And Shastra is really the center. We judge Guru and Sadhu from Shastra. Therefore Prabhupada was telling us, read my book, read my book. This is Shastra. Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Samhita, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchitananda Vigraha. They're giving us a very clear picture of God and how to surrender to Him. So everything is clear. So I heard Prabhupada with my own ears say, this Krishna consciousness is very clear, like the blue sky. Bright blue sky, very clear. But the habit is so deeply ingrained that again we go back to chewing the chewed. That's what Prahlad calls it. Trying to get pleasure from the something that's already, the pleasure is gone. Like the example is given of sugar cane. They run sugar cane through the wheel, all the juice comes out, run it 2 or 3 times, then they throw it on the street. So if you pick it up and start chewing it, you're only going to get the chewing business. The juice is gone, the sweetness is gone. But still the mind is saying, no, this time is different. This time, this girl is really nice, I'm going to do that. So like that, everybody is thinking. When I get the right man, then I'll be happy. But happiness runs through our fingers. Happiness can only come when we are connected with Krishna. We become nishta. Rupa Goswami is given very scientifically. Atav, shraddha. First we have a little faith. We're hearing, like you have some faith. You're hearing this message. Shraddha. Then bhajana kriya. Then, sadhu sangha. Then we associate with devotees. Then the next stage is bhajana kriya. The devotees are chanting Hare Krishna, so we also try. Devotees are rising early, so we also come. So this is the next stage, sadhu sangha. Then the next stage after that is anartana vritti. Gradually we'll give up our bad habits. We'll like to get up for Mangalarti. How many people came to Mangalarti this morning? So this is the system. It's called regulated principles of devotional service. We don't claim that we are pure devotees, but we're taking the process. And therefore, we're in a very fortunate position. We're taking a process which is going to give us pure devotion. And anartana vritti, we have to remove all then we become nishta. Nishta means steady, really steady. Otherwise we're living with the enemy. Here it's described. The mind is our enemy, always giving us the wrong advice. But we're accepting the mind as a guru. Just like the same example, the child screaming. Nothing can satisfy. He wants what he wants, but that's how the mind is. The mind is like that. It won't allow us to accept another guru. I hear those arguments because actually guru is the beginning. We should take guru. Just like if we want to be a heart surgeon, we can't just open a shop on heart surgery. But people get the idea that we can become spiritually advanced just by reading books. No, it's not possible. You need a guru, living guru, to help you. Of course, Prabhupada's everybody's Shiksha guru, that's fine. But Prabhupada himself told us we should approach the living guru. This is the system. Then he can help us, he or she. I'm not against women being gurus also. One who knows the subject. What the subject is, the science of Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives the definition of what is a guru, who is a guru. One who knows the science of Krishna. So it's not that you can learn it under your guru, but the guru is required. Why is that? I often get that question. Why can't I just read the books? Why? Because this is the system that Krishna wants. He specifically comes to re-establish parampara. He himself took a guru, Sandapani Muni, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted a guru. But we think, no, I don't need a guru. I can just get no. You need a guru. Because Krishna wants to see that the devotee is pleased with you. Like, we think that we can directly please Krishna. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was traveling in South India. He would meet people. He would come to a village or a city or a town or something. And then people would come to meet him because he was famous, head of Gaudiya Math. Even he was a younger man, in his 40s and 50s. But he was also very well known because he did something wonderful, created the Gaudiya Math, so many disciples and branches all over. So they would come to meet him. A saintly person is coming, head of the Gaudiya Math. And first question Bhaktisiddhanta, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would ask, and who do you practice your devotional service under? Under whose guidance? Oh, no, I'm a Ram Bhakta. Then Bhaktisiddhanta would lose interest with them. Because the system is, you approach the person who already is a Ram Bhakta. Okay, you can worship Lord Ramachandra, but don't do it just by your concoction. Take a little here, a little from Tulsi Das Ramayan, a little from Valmiki Ramayan, and make your own philosophy. That's the tendency. Like the yoga groups, we see them in America still coming, different yogis, and each one has to be different than the other. Otherwise, they have no credibility. Why should I come to you? Nobody wants to be a student of the other. Same with philosophy. You go to the library, there's millions of philosophy books, and each one is different. Nobody's going to say, yeah, I'm a pure servant of Spinoza. No, they put their own signature, their own philosophy, little twist here, there. Therefore, Prabhupada says, as it is, Bhagavad Gita. No adding or subtracting. This is our qualification. We're just representing the message as it's given, not adding or subtracting. But then that leads out to false ego. Well, what credit will I get? Everybody's worried. They want credit. They want their name in lights. But this is the wrong move. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur speaks about this desire for fame as the worst thing. He compares it to hog stool. Why hog stool is the worst thing? Because ordinary stool is food. But the hogs even won't eat stool. Hog stool. They won't eat hog stool. Nobody can. Ordinary animal, the hog, he can get substance from the other stool, human stool. I saw in Vrindavan once, on a rickshaw we were going. A little child, maybe 6 years old, was passing stool on the side of the road. And before he finished, the hog was moving him with his head to get the hot stool that the child had just excreted. So this is a hog's business, eating stool. Well, at least we've advanced beyond that stage. And that's important because we were just reading the previous verses in the Bhagavad Gita, how Krishna wants us to offer with love things that he requests. No meat, fish, or eggs. So everything is there. The path is clear. By Prabhupada's mercy, he's made it very clear. But we have to apply. He didn't show miracles. That suddenly, although I know of one miracle that Prabhupada performed. But generally, and that he did in private. I found out from the person who he did the miracle to, and I believe it because he showed that Prabhupada's, what the story was, 1974 or 73, I don't know, a lot of people were coming for the opening of Mayapur. And they didn't have facility for them to stay. So they were building this long building, they're still there maybe, with so many rooms. Because they came by a plane load. They rented planes from America. And so the whole plane was full, 747, only devotees. I wasn't on a plane, but I heard they had kirtan the whole way and so on. So many people were coming, and Prabhupada was concerned, where are they going to stay? So it was like a double shift to get the buildings finished so that devotees would have a place to stay. So the one man was in charge of that. I knew him. His name was Chaitanya. Chaitya Guru at that time. Later he got a sannyas name. But he was Chaitya Guru, and he was a kind of tough guy. So he could get the Bengalis to work. He knew the mood. He knew Bengali, and they would get not very much money. They would eat with us, a little money, and so he would push them to work and get the work done. And then the word came to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Chaitya Guru is sick. He can't work today. But Prabhupada didn't have anybody like that, and he wanted the work done. He went to Chaitya Guru's room, and Chaitya Guru said, Prabhupada, I have a high fever. I don't know what to do. I can't get out of bed. And Prabhupada did like this. And it went away. He had that power, but he didn't. Because just like Lord Jesus even said, people would come, oh, show a miracle, show a miracle. And even Christ said in the Bible, it mentioned, better than are those who come with faith to hear than to see some miracle. The process is hearing. Therefore, Prabhupada always stresses on his books. This is my miracle. He sometimes was asked to show him. My miracle that I've taken these young hippies, drug-addicted hippies, and turned them into lovers of God and humanity. That's a miracle. Okay? Any questions? So I'm here for a couple of days. We're having a class again tonight. I like to give classes. And I like to do kirtan. So if you come tonight, we'll do kirtan for some time. What time?
6:30.
6:30 we start with kirtan. I can speak better after kirtan. And that's my realization about myself. Kirtan gives us life. I'll tell a quick story about that. We were in Vrindavan, 1974. Srila Prabhupada had been a little ill, not his final illness, but he was a little ill for some time. And he was coming every evening to the program, Krishna Balaram Mandir. How many of you have been there, Krishna Balaram Mandir? 1, 2, 3, 4. Few. Oh, a lot of ladies. So he was due to open it, but it got delayed. The work wasn't done, which is not uncommon, right? So they postponed it until Ram Navami the next year. So it opened in April 75. So this was in September 74. And Prabhupada would come every night to the program, but he would sit. And so the sannyasis, I had to give class once in front of Prabhupada. It was kind of scary, Prabhupada sitting there giving class in front of him. But the sannyasis took turns doing that. And then that was it. So 6:30 Arti we had every night. Then the class. And Prabhupada's direction from Shruti Kirti was the servant. Prabhupada wants the class to be short. And some people who were speaking long, Shruti Kirti would come and say, Prabhupada wants now to chant again. Stop talking. So that was the mood. Chant more and talk less. So the second kirtan then would start. And that kirtan would go on for a long time, over an hour. And very good kirtan, different leaders. And Prabhupada didn't lead the kirtan, but he was there. He was inspired by it. So one night after the second kirtan, we came back to Prabhupada. It was still hot season, September. Prabhupada was resting outside on a wooden Indian bed. You've seen them? With a mosquito thing attached. So he sat on the bed, and like before the mosquitoes came, before he had to pull up the net, he started talking. It was only Shruti Kirti and myself. We were sitting on the ground, he was sitting on the bed. And then he spoke with full conviction from his heart. He said, this is the special mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this kirtan. This is a special mercy. And if we don't get life from the kirtan, no, then he said, this kirtan gives us life. That's what he said. This kirtan gives us life. This is a special mercy. And if we don't get life from the kirtan, simply sex life. So it's your choice. You want sex life? I'm sure you can have sex life. But if you want something better than sex life, this is the Lord Chaitanya's gift. Not that the grihasthas can't have sex life and still chant Hare Krishna and be ecstatic. But that is strict. Sex life only for begetting children. Prabhupada mentions it in the purport, in that verse. Krishna says, I am sex life. Chapter 7, is it 7? 11? 7:11, I think. I am sex life, which is not contrary to religious principle. So it's not an easy thing, living with a woman and only having sex life when she is the most fertile to beget a child. And that was the system. Even the kings, they would take advice from the astrologers. So the whole kingdom knew that the king and queen are having sex tonight. Because that was the most auspicious time to beget a child. That was the purpose of sex life. Why is that pleasure so intense? Because the trouble is also intense. Raising the children is a big commitment. We give the example of the chicken and the farmer. The farmer has a chicken, right? So the chicken is valuable, but what is the value? It gives an egg, and you can sell the egg. The other side of the chicken, it's eating the grain, it costs money. So the farmer gets the idea. I'm going to cut the chicken in half and only keep the side that gives the egg. So that's what we're doing. We want sex life without being responsible. It's not possible. You're going to pay for it. Illicit sex. But if you beget good children, then we congratulate you. The Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, I'm ready to have sex 1,000 times if I can beget good children. So that's the idea. We're not against sex life. We're against contraceptives and abortion. We're really against abortion. I heard Prabhupada say once, those who are committing abortion, again and again, they'll be put into the womb and they won't see the light of day. They'll be killed. Then again put into the womb without seeing the light of day. Again killed. So sinful. So we shouldn't compromise on this point, especially. Abortion is a sin. Okay? Anything else? I was going to finish something. The verse is finished. No questions?
And you said we should have a living guru, accept a living guru. But what happened, like it happened in the past, that the guru is not staying long in the material world, leaving?
Yeah, then he can still communicate with you if you're sincere. That's the idea. The spiritual master is not limited. If he, like I've been, Prabhupada has communicated with me since he left the body, so your guru can also. Who was just telling me that he had, that his guru was Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, and that he came to him a couple of times and gave him advice and when it was a difficult situation. Where was that? He has nice pictures of Bhakti Tirtha. It's in that city we were in. Oh, you weren't there. It was in Ukraine. Ukraine on the farm.
Kiev farm.
Yeah, Kiev farm. He's the leader of that farm. So why not? Pray to your guru. He's left the planet. You can still get advice from him if you're sincere. This devotee is getting advice like that. Otherwise, Prabhupada is Shiksha Guru for everyone. And the GBC has made it clear. If you feel that even now you may have a guru, but if you feel Prabhupada is your main link to Krishna, then you can, but you should get Diksha. Prabhupada is not giving Diksha. Diksha is required. These Rikviks are wrong. Diksha means you accept, and the Guru accepts you and gives you the name and the neck beads. Prabhupada's not doing that. You're not giving Diksha, but he's giving Shiksha. And ours is a Shiksha line. So if you feel that you don't need it, be strict to follow your Diksha Guru, you can tell him, Maharaj, whoever he is, mostly the sannyasis, right? And you can say, I feel very confident that Prabhupada is helping me directly. Is that okay with you? The Guru is not going to say, no, you have to come to me. No. He'll be happy. Oh, Prabhupada is helping you? Good. No Diksha Guru is going to think, oh, you have to come to me first. I'm the most important person. If Prabhupada is the most important person in your life, good, go for it. But don't neglect, don't just ignore the Diksha Guru. You should respect him. He's helped you. He's given you your name and your neck beads. Like that. The GBC has dealt with this issue. Because it was overboard the other way. I saw it. You have to, if you don't have a Diksha Guru, first then you're lost. I mean, if you don't accept your Guru as good as God. And because of that, so many Gurus fell down. They weren't qualified to imitate Prabhupada's position. Like one of the Gurus who fell down, this is what he told me. I didn't ask to become Guru, but Prabhupada made me Guru. Everyone knows Guru is perfect, so I'm perfect. He started thinking, he really thought he was perfect. And then within 3 years, he was having sex with his female disciples, shooting guns into the, maybe you know him, Hansaduda. He was once very prominent here in Germany. But he fell victim of this idea that he was at the same level as Prabhupada. Prabhupada is special. He told us, keep the Acharya in the center. He wants us to have his murti in every temple, to read from his books, to glorify him in the diary. I have a book also that I'm trying to glorify Prabhupada. But we don't have any copies, huh?
We're getting tomorrow.
Okay, we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Jai.
Sri Prabhupada ki.
Jai.
Thank you very much.